My dear student, we learn today a scintillation counter. The detection and measurement of nucleus radiation using a scintillation counter, as like a GM counter, scintillation counter is used for counting a number of particles emitted by a radio element. Scintillation counter is devised by H. Kalman in 1947. The principle of scintillation counter: when nuclear radiations are incident on the surface of the phosphor, like zinc sulfide, ZnS, or barium platinocyanide, BaPtCN6, then they produce a very tiny flashes or tiny sparks of light, that is luminescence, called scintillations. The scintillations can be counted in terms of a pulse of a current with the help of a photomultiplier tube and electrometer. The scintillations can be counted by converting a feeble light of a single scintillation into an electric pulse. That is a feeble light, that is a it has no lot too large intensity. The particles can be counted by counting the number of scintillation. Phosphors are sensitive to all the types of radiations like alpha, beta, gamma, working of the scintillation counter. The modern scintillation counters have much efficiency. They consist of three parts: phosphor, PMT, photomultiplied tube, or electron multiplied tube. Third, that is the electronic counting, that is a electrometer, electrocounting system. Instead of zinc sulfide screen, a crystal of sodium iodide with a little thallium iodide is used. The sample of the radioactive substance contained in a small vial is placed in a well cut into the crystal. The radiation from the sample hit the crystal wall and produce scintillation. Scintillation counter can measure radiation up to a millions per second. The phosphor is a main part, the inorganic solid phosphor. The elements written, that is in a bracket, acts as an activator. For example, the sodium iodide, it is activated by thallium. Thallium, it is written in a bracket. Cesium iodide in a bracket thallium. Then zinc sulfide in a bracket silver. Means thallium is an activator. Sodium iodide with thallium, cesium iodide with thallium, zinc sulfide with silver. The substances, that is the inorganic substances, do not scintillate when they are pure in state. So the inorganic substances are activated by others. The sodium iodide is activated by thallium, cesium iodide activated by thallium, calcium iodide activated with a trace of europium, and zinc sulfide activated by the silver. The sodium iodide is activated with the thallium, is not mostly common, it is a mostly common used phosphor, and it is a large used in the study of gamma rays. It is a hygroscopic, it is a drawback of that sodium iodide. The cesium iodide is not a hygroscopic, and it is more frequently used than the sodium iodide. Cesium iodide is less sensitive. Zinc sulfide, it is most suitable for the detection of the particles having the short range. For example, the zinc sulfide and the cesium iodide are used for the alpha particles. Alpha particles are short range particles. The sodium iodide is the best suited for the gamma radiation. Another, that is the zinc sulfide. It is a excellent scintillator, and it is used only in a thin layers, not thick layers. If there is a thick layer, it is becomes opaque to its own radiations, own light. Organic solids, phosphorus, the naphthalene, anthracene, stilbene, especially trans-stilbene, etc. are the organic solids. The anthracene and stilbene, which have a faster decay time than the inorganic phosphorus, phosphors. Uh, for heavy particles, these have a very poor efficiency. These are useful for counting the beta particles in the presence of the gamma radiations. The organic liquids is a mixture is used as a diphenyl oxazole or the terphenyl, that is the paraterphenyl in a toluene or the xylene. Uh, the These are suitable for the detection of beta particles in the presence of the gamma rays. The gases like the argon, xenon, krypton also used as a scintillator in the UV light region. For counting the heavy charged particles in the presence of gamma radiation, the xenon is used which emits the radiation in the ultraviolet region. Here the anthracene and stilbene, it is a optical brightener and it is a scintillator. Another that is the characteristic of the ideal phosphor. It should be have high scintillation efficiency. That is, it convert the entire radiation into detectable light. Second, the ideal phosphor has characteristic that is there should be a linear relationship between the output signal, that is the electron pulse, and the energy of primary ionizing radiation particle. Third, it should be totally transparent to the emitted light. The decay time 10 to minus 9 second, as well as recovery time should be as small as 0.3 microsecond, possible for fast signal generation. Phosphor material should be a good optical quality. Its refractive index should be near to glass, is 1.5 to permit efficient coupling with the PMT. Phosphor is a substance material that is a medium through which when radiations pass they get energized and produce scintillations. A crystal of phosphor is surrounded by a thin aluminum foil and it is kept in the contact with the photocathode of photomultiplier tube. Aluminum foil acts as a light reflector and it reflects the light flashes towards the light pipe to the photocathode of the PMT. The aluminum foil is also provided with the mica window for the entry of radiation. Second main part, that is the photomultiplier tube. It is also known as electron multiplier tube. It consists of a long vacuum tube in which number of electrodes known as diodes are arranged in the increasing order of positive potential between photosensitive cathode and the anode. A typical photomultiplier tube contains 10 to 12 diodes, or some there are the photomultiplier tube which have the 13 to 16 diodes. The diodes are inserted between the anode and the photocathode of the tube. The surface of each diode and the photocathode is covered by a layer of cesium or antimony metal and silver oxide. The diodes produce secondary electrons in the multiples of incident electrons and thus photoelectric current is amplified. The photomultiplier tube must be shielded for the magnetic fields even from the earth magnetic field. Third, that is the electron counting system. Electrometer is connected to the anode, that is the receiver of the photomultiplier tube, and it measures the amplified the current, the working of the scintillation counter. When the nuclear radiation interacts with the phosphor, a flash of light falls on the photocathode of PMT. The flash of light transported through light pipe and is made incident on the photocathode. The electrons are ejected due to the photoelectric effect. Each accelerated electron from the photocathode strikes on the first diode and ejects several secondary electrons from it. The secondary electrons are similarly accelerated and multiplied by different diodes of photomultiplier tube. Thus, a large electrical pulse is produced, which is measured by the electrometer. The high flow of electrons, that is millions of electrons, reach the anode and produce a strong pulse of electric current. The pulses are counted and registered and by an electronic counting system. The pulse is recorded in 10 to minus 8 seconds, or the multiplication factor of 10 to 6 to 10 to 8 is reached. Each diode is maintained at a higher positive potential than the preceding one by about 100 volts. The multiplication in the PMT is sensitive to applied voltage, therefore good high voltage stabilization plus minus 0.1% is necessary. Then the advantages of this scintillation counter, it is simple to operate. Then it has a high sensitivity towards all type of radiations. It can be discriminate or distinguish between photons of different energies, and hence they are used in gamma rays spectrometer. It has short resolving power and it is therefore efficient in fast and accurate counting, especially for counting gamma rays. The time of resolution is much better than the GM tube. The counters can be manufactured in a variety of sizes and shapes. The counter produces a sharper pulse than the GM counter. It is a compare that. The problems of decay time and the dead time is and the recovery time do not arise as like the GM counter. It offers a greater stability, greater accuracy, shorter resolving time, and higher efficiency than GM counter. Then disadvantages of a scintillation counter. For effective operations, a massive photomultiplier tube is necessary, and the second that is at low energies, the counter response is not 100%. Applications of scintillation counters are extensively used in nuclear physics, nuclear chemistry, optoelectronics, spectroscopic studies, material research, and medicines, etc. Means scintillation counter has advantages also, disadvantages, and their applications. Thank you.